Hoseo.
Hoseo.
It's a Cherokee greeting, and wave the great feather for the good of it. And one more greeting, Namaste. We today are in India, and the main theme is Kali, the Hindu goddess Kali. And we're going to start with the Navaratri. The Navaratri means the 9 nights of Durga. I had presented Durga before the festival had started, and this has to do with the ending of it, which ended on Thursday or Friday, depending which day they exactly started. And if you can go up there, you can see that there's a holy picture for the Navaratri. It features Durga there on a tiger and each goddesses of the 9 nights. And then you're going to drop all the way down here to this doll at the bottom over there. There she goes, yes. This is a doll woman dressed for the Navaratri. And a woman from the Sri Mandir temple described to me all the details of it. So she's here as also standing for the Navaratri that just ended. And then kind of go up there with that silkscreen cloth hanging there. That's of Kali. And this silkscreen cloth is from the Sri Mandir Hindu temple on Black Mountain Road. And I like it very much because it's creative. An artist made that. Now, Friday or Saturday, that is after the Navaratri has ended, the 10th day is called the Dasara day, and it is, I call it, the Holy Sword Day. Like that. So Durga is resting after her victory over a Mahisha, the Titan buffalo, and Rama, another part of it, Rama, after his defeating of Ravan in Sri Lanka, has returned to his kingdom up there in Ayodhya. So that's an aspect in it. But here, come over here to what I have displayed here. Now, this is for Dasara, I call it the Holy Sword Day. It brings out in these battles with these asuras, or they call them demons, the martial aspects of Durga and Kali. And in this case, we're showing here, this is a votive sword. So the votive sword means that a Devi, a goddess, has entered into the sword and given it a divine presence here. The one that's legendarily known from early times was called, Bhavanani. Bhavanani, meaning the goddess in the sword, was wielded by a prince that Durga gave him the sword in some mystical way to battle the Muslims who were invading into India, so hundreds of years ago. And so all of that is significant in this. The swords also, it expanded into weapons and other things that the priest will sprinkle with water and have mantras, recited over these articles. But this one we're emphasizing the sword here. And up here, right next to it, I have the little picture. This is a picture of Kamala Harris. I've superimposed upon my card, my artist card, of the coyote I painted. Now, a little coyote story with that. Coyote was assembling a war party, and for that he asked each of the characters to sing their war song. So they did. They weren't all, that impressive. So he asked Mosquito, tell me your war song. And Mosquito says, I suck blood, I suck blood. Coyote says, that's good, that's a good war song. So I put here Kamala Harris. Her war song is, when we fight, we win. And at the DNC convention, Deb Haaland, the Secretary of the Interior, Native American, and the only Native American that has appeared in all of this election business, she definitely picked up on that, and she definitely presented herself in the term of fierce. Be fierce for Kamala. So that's very much a part of it. So you can come right down here to this. This is a Murti. This is Kali. This is the very characteristic image of Kali, and there's a holy picture of her behind her there. And Kali is fierce. And Kamala Harris in this bout for the presidency needs to be fierce. So we very much have that, and this is Kali. And this is how she is very much usually depicted this way. Very fierce, and all of these things that are on her. Here's her sword up here, and skulls around her, and so forth, all giving a very terrific, fierce appearance. How she came about is back to the story I had previously told of Durga. The Titan Buffalo Demon is what they call him. Mahesha, he wanted this strong, valiant warrior queen like that. He wanted her to marry him. And so he sent some of his chief generals to go and tell her that. And she just, thumped her nose at them. And then they tried to attack her. They pulled out their weapons and tried to attack her. And that made her really fierce, really, really fierce. And as she was in this really wrathful state, Kali burst out of Durga's forehead and quickly dispatched these characters. And then furthermore, when the chief demon heard about this, he sent his whole army after these two warrior women or battle queens like that. And they did fast work, on all of those demons. In the course of that, one of these demons had shed a lot of blood, sprinkled his blood all around. And wherever that drop of blood fell on the ground, another demon sprang up from that. So to deal with that, Kali suddenly produced a long, lolling tongue. She had a long tongue. And she started just lapping up these blood drops, or these demon blood drops like that. So she is very often depicted with a long tongue. On the figure here, you might make it out. And if you go over here to this picture of her, she looks quite lovely here, but her tongue is sticking out. And that's pretty much why she has her tongue sticking out. She's licking up the blood drops of the bad guys there. So it gives you an idea of her there. We come over here to this piece here. You see this one? This is my painting. This is an oil painting. And this is Sri Kapli Kali. It means, Kapli means she holds the skull. Kali herself is beyond time. You could say timeless, but she's outside of time. And the skull is time. It means time. And here's a little Murti that goes with her here. It's rather figured that these deities, divinities, and like that have originated pre-Hindu, even pre-Aryan, pre-Vedic. And the place where that they may have originated is in the far east of India, and it's called the Indus Valley. It's now in Pakistan. But two ancient cities have been discovered there and a lot of archaeology there, and this is rather 5,000 years ago. We can say what we can say historically the beginning of India. And you go all the way over here to this picture I have here. This is a picture, a photograph, you know, of this bronze figure. And this bronze figure, archaeologically speaking, has been found there in the Indus Valley. The city called Mohenjo-daro is what name they've been given to that. And this is the figure, you know, this is around 3,000 to 4,000 years old. And for me, I had enrolled in an Indian art history course in college, and when I had come into the lecture hall, on the screen, large screen, was this image. And that image really made an impact on me, that's the way I could figure it, and has stayed with me. And I figure this, in terms of sculpture, certain sculptures, you're building an inner frame, and that's called an armature, that you're going to add things onto it in that way. And so I figured that this image of this is the armature for all of the later Kali images, you know, with all the arms and other attributes added to her. It's also an armature for me that has seen me all the way through my art for 50, 60 years. And over here, this is my drawing of her. This is her come all the way through into me. We go here to this, you can see a little figure down here lit up by the candle. We're talking now about, in India, Buddha, Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha's place of birth and residence in kind of in northwest India. Gautama Buddha was a Vedic Hindu, or an Iranian Hindu. His language was Eastern Iranian. The lineage for his clan was called Gotra, meaning cowshed, and the clan he belonged to was the Sakta, so he's often called Sakta Muni, meaning the wise man of the Sakta clan. These people are very chiefly male, all predominantly male, with male gods and stuff like that. So the Buddhism got started pretty much that way. Somehow, eventually, women kind of picked up on it and found a way to evolve their own rather feminine Buddhism focused on emptiness there. And I'm showing this one here. This is a Dakini, and she is called Vajrayoni. Vajrayoni, sort of diamond womb. And she very much, to me, resembles Kali. I think a lot of these Hindu goddesses kind of found themselves into the culture of the yoginis and dakinis, and that's why I have this one here. It's kind of a rare find, I think. She's drinking blood out of a skull, and she's got her, instead of a sword, she's got her spear. So you get some idea there. And then come down here to this figure I have here. India is feminine. India is all given to the goddess. So that's why I have her. And you come down here to this image that I have made. In the city of Benares, considered the capital of the spirituality in India, there's a temple there that is devoted to, dedicated to Bharat Maat, that is Mother India. And inside the temple, in the place where there usually would be a goddess image, instead there was a large colored map of the continent of India. And people come there and they pray their devotion to Mother India with that map. So I put together a traced outline of the continent of India with the eyes of the Devi within it to signify that India is the country of the Devi. So that has been very, very predominant throughout India. Now we can come all the way up here to my centerpiece. This is my painting that is referring to Kali here. And that's what I'm going to stay focused on that. And that's what I'm going to present with you here. Sri Kali Katapa, or Kali Ma. Mother Kali is dark colored. What is the significance of this dark color? For one, she is the hidden principle of creation, and she is the absorber of all colors and therefore dark. She is self-revealed and is the active principle in the presentation of the universe to our view. Her self-revealing nature is indicated by the dazzling white of her teeth. From the point of view of Vach, speech, then her mouth represents Vach, or expressed speech, in three varieties: oral, non-vocal, and mental. And her partially open teeth stand for the medium stage of transition from express speech to the transcendental speech center. And the glare of her eye stands for inner vision. She is the mantra personified, and that mantra is the basis of all the other Devis, Mahalakshmi, Mahasarasvati, and so on, like that. It's the mantra Hamsaha, the great seed bija. Ha is the power that of the divine Sakti, and Sa is Shiva. So it is actually uttered by everybody. You intake your breath, Ham, and you let your breath out, Sa, Ahamsa, Ahamsa. Ahamsa is the life principle. Her beautiful face is concealed from our view, and the clouds that has gathered around her is the primary form of condensed energy before its radiation. The seeds of all things are stored up in that condensed energy, which is called Mahapurisha, cloud sprinkling rain. Mahakali becomes active in the form of a great surge of energized foam, which is manifested in the creation of sounds and words. The mass of hair on her head indicates the veil of Maya and its illusions of reality. Kali is the prime energy in the core of creation. Her heart is the nucleus of all transformations. The golden veil of her form is called Hiranyagarbha, the source that shines. It unfolds, reveals, illumines. Here in my painting, I've called this painting Bija, seed. It's the point of the seed pod in which Kali is the seed-filled pod. And yeah, I don't know if you can see this right here. I put a seed pod here. There are seeds in it, and it's pointed, and that's kind of like what I'm having here. And she is what is inside the seed pod here. And Bija in Sanskrit is Vrishkanam Sparatama Parasakti, the active light of Parasakti, which is the root cause of the universe. Her breasts, Stuna, stand for the generative, having the power of generating, originating, producing, or sexual reproduction. Here, this figure here, this is a Sanskrit letter here for Ha. It's called the plow because it looks like a plow here. So this is major, and this dot up here is Visarga. Visarga means the emanation of this. It makes it more powerful. And over here on this side, this is the Sanskrit letter for Ka, and this is a crow feather. Of course, it's not too hard to figure with this goddess that a crow would kind of go along with her. So this figure Ka is for a crow, Ka, Ka, like that. And the crow says, Ka, 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 come into the wheel of creation. So that explains all of that. So it can come back to me, and at this, I brought all this together for Kali, and as to empower, give power to Kamala Harris. I should have said the sword of Kali, because she has one there in these figures, is Khadga. Ga is what the term means, to empower the woman. In Kali, she is Etapati Mahina Sambhavuva. I have brought about this whole creation by my own power. That is the Ga. So that's what we're giving here to Kamala to bring about this election that we're talking about. And Claudia at this point is going to come up and read her poem. I can't tell you what you're talking about.
The circle.
The circle, this is her heart. Her heart, I say, is the nucleus of all transformation. So, like that, right?
Okay.
Now, each side of her here, these pots are puja. For puja, pour water over the figures, and that means worship. So these are old puja vessels here for her. So now maybe Claudia will be able to come up and read her poem.
Invocation to Kali Ma. You come to feast upon my aching heart, destroy my petty paradigms. You shatter surface illusions, ripping appearances apart. Blinded by the cataract of pandemics, global warming, words used as weapons to protect guns that kill children. I tear away the veil from my eyes, open my rawness to you, seek the strength of your divine vision. How to clear this cloudy sight with your crystalline clarity. See beyond life forms to deeper truths of color, energy, spirit. Give me courage to bear the ashes of young dreams, to know that you will dance with souls that roam our streets, smudged by blackened child's merit, to romp in your field of manifestations with peals of laughter and songs of new life. Failure can exist when planting still warm seeds in your charred bones. You who knows the freedom of dying for a time.
Oh,